Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the Power Rangers Super Megaforce. Super Megaforce. We're getting like Joey Wheeler in here. Super Megaforce Ninja Zord. This is, well, primarily this is the tribute Zord for Power Rangers Ninja Storm that combines with the legendary Megazord. However, we have done something sort of special here and we have smashed it up with an in-space tribute Zord that is not in the show in any form. So as a result, as you can see here, we've got the Ninja Zord here, and it comes with 2 Ranger keys, the only individual like auxiliary type Zord to come with 2 Ranger keys. We've got In-Space Red and Ninja Storm Red, and then we've got the fabulous box here. In fact, that's what we're going to go over first, because everyone's favorite parts of my reviews are the boxes. But in all honesty, these boxes are actually really neat for what they have here. Obviously, this is where the keys were, but the highlight is the little art they have here on the front of the Zord, which is really cool. It's not doing an incredible action pose or anything, but it's really neat. Just sort of shows off the functions of it, advertises Ranger keys more and more of the current line and whatnot. And then on the back it just shows you the modes you can put it in, Zord Builder compatible, advertisement for Ranger keys. So pretty much your typical fare. We'll move that out of the way shortly, but it's a neat packaging nonetheless. But yeah, 2 Ranger keys, both Red Rangers, ones you can get in the regular sets. Not too many differences. Like I've said previously in these Zord reviews, I think it's a missed opportunity to give us different Ranger keys. Specifically for this Zord, since they were going for a helicopter mode that was based off the Samurai Star Megazord and then the Mega Winger, which was the Silver Rangers, this could have easily been a Silver and Space key, and this could have been a Ninja Storm Green Samurai Ranger key. So, yeah, missed opportunities there to get the Ranger keys released easier. Instead of going to these more packs things that are supposedly happening this fall. But yeah, here's the key modes, so we will go over them in the Legendary Morpher, just in case you don't believe me about them having the same noises. Is this thing on? Now it is. Alright, let's go. In space, and then everyone's favorite. Alright. And then Ninja Storm here. Yep, everyone's favorite. So yeah, same things, typical fare like I said. It's neat that it has 2 Ranger keys, I guess, but it's ones you already have, and it's just kind of a missed opportunity to give us more keys, specifically since this line actually comes with keys with almost everything. Alright, so I guess we'll just start in its regular mode, since that's what it's already in. So this is the core mode that is in the show, the Ninja Zord. It's sort of based off of the Mini Zord. And honestly, in this mode, I actually don't think it looks too bad. I mean, the paint isn't incredible on it. I have this piece on it here. This is the Mega Winger piece. When it's in this mode, it's just supposed to be like this, but I didn't want to lose this piece. This will come in handy later. But anyway, like in this mode, like I said, the paint is nothing spectacular, but I don't think it looks bad. It actually looks kind of adorable. It doesn't look that bad on the shelf. I don't have too many problems with it. The only thing it really does is you can move his arms and then this spinny thing. This is a bit larger than the Japanese counterpart. But overall, like within this part, and then I guess its next transformation, I really don't mind it all that much. I don't really have any huge problems with it. In fact, yeah, like I said, good shelf piece, don't mind it. Really, that's all she wrote. Alright, real quick here before I completely forget, here he is next to his Japanese counterpart, the Furai Maru. Obviously you can see there's some height differences, definite design differences with the functions, which I'll show more in the combined mode. The star is smaller, there's a missing piece here, but yeah, there's definitely some differences here, height, color, all the typical stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to do that before I forgot. Now for this, they gave it 2 other additional modes, sort of. The helicopter mode, which is essentially, boils down to just tucking these in and having it face like this, so it's a helicopter. And you can put the Ranger key in, let me see, I don't know why I put these back in human mode or whatever. But you can do this and make it be like a helicopter, and I suppose you could do that when it's in its regular mode too. But if I can get this to latch in again. But yeah, that's, it's really not that amazing of a transformation, obviously. It's pretty, you know, half-baked. But it's still a nice thought, especially since this is green, it's from Ninja Storm, trying to make it like the Green Samurai, giving it some Ranger Key functionality. Maybe if the transformation had a little bit more to it to blend it in better, but whatevers. Alright, so its next mode is part of the mashup, which is what makes it sort of a dual in space tribute. And in order to do that, it's very easy. Just pull these two little things up, and then you can kind of adjust this down to give it a different face. And then this piece here, which I already spoiler alerted, you just snap it on the front, and then you take this back piece here, and you are going to separate this whole thing here so that these are facing now with the silver part towards you. And there we go. There's little pegs here that line up with this back piece right here, which you couldn't even see for a second. And this one too. There we go. And then you sort of have a Mega Winger tribute mech thing. Now, like I said, I actually don't mind this mode. I think it looks a little funny with the way its face is. It looks a lot better on the packaging. I mean, I don't know if I want to have it up like this so he has eyes, or make these the eyes, I don't know. But it's essentially trying to be the Mega Winger, and it's very simple. It was a really easy thing to do, and overall I don't mind it. I think this is kind of neat, actually. I think the whole idea behind what they tried to do here was neat. Really creative thinking going on there. But yeah, it's just, in a lot of ways it wasn't executed well, but this I don't mind this mode at all, really, actually. But yeah, there's really not much else to go over. He just sits there and kind of looks like this. But now we can transform him with the Megazords. His core transformations are with the legendary Megazord, which we'll go ahead and bring in. Let me get the box out, just because that'll get in the way when we have larger people in here. Alright, so we got legendary Megazord here. So let's go ahead and do this up. So we're essentially just going to disassemble a lot of this guy. Take this piece off here. This whole little piece is separate when you get it, and then when you want to do transformations and stuff, you snap it back on there. But anyway, put this back into if I can figure out how to do it and not be an idiot, into the Ninja Star mode. Now take these two pieces here, and you're going to pop them off. These are the legs, and one of them here is just going to latch onto the side right here. And you're going to want to keep the other one set to the side briefly. Now I take this little piece off. Well, I guess you don't need to, but actually you do need to. So I'm going to. Now take this piece, and this is going to become the helmet. I fold these back down, fold that down so you can't see that face. Fold these up like this, and then it's going to snap on like a helmet. Like that. We're going to pull this piece out here, and this is going to become the chest piece. So you're going to want actually facing this way. Alright, there we go. It's a little bit difficult to get on with this little piece here. I would advise just getting it on there before you put it in the legendary Megazord, or at least it seemed easier that way for me. Alright, so now you're going to take this piece and combine it with the legs, so it's going to sort of be like a holder for it. So just kind of take this and place it in here. Whoops, and don't let it mess up, because you have to pull this Zord Builder piece, or port out, and you got to make sure you press it in without folding it back in on itself. And then he can essentially hold this as a weapon. You can face it forward and be like, oh, my giant stand, or you can put it sideways and make it more like a blade. But yeah, that is primarily what you get for the, what is it, Legendary Ninja Storm Megazord, or Legendary Ninja Megazord, I think they just called it. It's really not that great looking. The giant star here is kind of impressive, I suppose, but everything else is pretty bad looking. I mean, you just have a foot sitting down here, and the chest piece is honestly pretty unimpressive, and I think the helmet looks pretty funny. You know, a lot of these Legendary Megazord modes have had slight variations on what they're supposed to look like, and I really usually don't mind it, mainly because I like having something different. But this one honestly just doesn't impress me that much. I just think it looks kind of funny. Let me just take a quick comparison to the Japanese counterpart when it's all together of, was it Hurricane Gokaio? Here it is here. And as you can see, it's actually quite different in a lot of ways. You're essentially missing out on these little ninja blades popping out of the Gokaio parts, excuse me. I don't know how they would have done that. I guess had some little blades that popped onto here. But you're missing out on that whole aspect. The helmet, it shares the same base design, but it just doesn't look quite as funny. And this isn't anything impressive. It honestly looks kind of dumb, too, in toy form. And there's just this huge gap here. It's like not like it's amazing. But definitely some weird choices with the design. Even just going from the show. Now, the Japanese version is supposed to have this part here where it actually holds this. I have absolutely horrendous luck with my Gokaiger mech. I lost Gao Lion's helmet behind a dresser that's like super heavy and almost immovable, and I lost this other like holder piece behind another like shelf piece, and they're not like shelves you can just, or dressers you can just slide out. They're like super practically permanent. So yeah, that's why that's not there. But anyway, that's that. I thought I would show that off just for those that are curious. Now for the in-space mode, it's honestly really simple in terms of changing it around. Let me just sort of get a more overall angle. So to do that, just take this out. You're going to take the foot and make it a foot again and put it on the side here. And then you're going to go through the daunting task of removing this piece that I spent so much time off camera. I just spent weeks trying to do this, and switching it over to the now look how easy that went. Come on, said. Into the in-space version. And then take this piece, and back here, I don't know why I did that, there is a Mega Winger helmet. And just fold these around, and you've got a Mega Winger helmet, which is not wanting to stay on there. Don't be a jerk. There we go. Okay, it's not being a jerk now. Okay, now you're going to take this piece here, and you're going to separate it. And we're going to pull these Zord Builder ports out, and we are going to now, let's see, we're going to have these sort of sticking out like this, and you have to do it in a very specific way so that it actually looks right. Like, I had it before and like it didn't quite look right, like the way it did on the box. So I want to, dang it, I hate the way those Zord Builder ports fold back in, so that you want it to look, that looks about right. This one here, like, because you can sort of get it in an off angle, and I want it to look as close to the box as possible, so someone's like, oh, it's crooked, Dawson, you should just quit reviewing and go sit in the box. I will sit in that box, and I will review it. There we go. So then you're just essentially placing those on the back, and that is the in-space tribute mech that sort of resembles the Mega Winger in some fashion. Like I said, it was a really neat idea. I definitely respect the creativity and like the thinking went into it. And this isn't horrendous or anything. Like, I get it with the wings. I think the helmet looks really wonky, especially with like the extra kibble pieces sticking out. But the idea was definitely there. I appreciate it that they tried to do some unique things with this. I just wish that they would have maybe put a little more thought into how it works and possibly given us something really cool. That would have been really neat. It's just, it's kind of odd looking. It's such a weird thing that I'm sort of torn between, because I really like what they tried to do. Most definitely like what they tried to do. I just don't think they accomplished it very well. While I'm here, I can show you just real quick. The instructions do show, which it's not really an official mode, but since it's in the instructions, that you can also do a special mode with the Q-Rex, which would make sense, you know, given that if this is a, Mega Winger Silver Ranger Mech Tribute, then the 6 Ranger would get it. So let me see, how does it go? It's like you put these on here, so there, and they kind of go on his back like this. Oh, let's just get this one last piece on there. The annoying thing here is that this piece always slides off, and then the stupid Zord Builder pieces are always folding around. But anyway, you essentially just get that. These could be a little closer together, but you get the general idea. You just sort of put wings on the back. Nothing entirely too special, and obviously, look, this looks like just the back of another Megazord. This is just him without wings. But obviously, in addition to the like official modes that shows you the instructions, this is all Zord Builder compatible, so you can do a bunch of different stuff with the Ninja Zords. You know, you can mix and match any of the parts you want with any of these, with any of the other Zords, Turbo Falcon, anything you really want with it. So you're not just limited to that, but at least, regardless of the fact that it's sort of executed poorly in a lot of ways, at least it's kind of neat that they give you lots of things to do officially without having to think outside of the box if you're not that type of person. Alright, but let's clear this out and get to the final verdict. Alright, so that's about it for all of the functions of this. So overall, honestly, this thing's a pretty mixed bag for me. When I first heard the ideas about how they were sort of hybriding Ninja Storm and In Space, I thought it was really neat and was really looking forward to getting my hands on it. And ultimately, I think they had some really neat ideas in here, in terms of just taking what it does and also giving it, or attempting to give it a sort of helicopter mode for the Samurai Star Megazord, and then giving it a Mega Winger mode. As I said, I really like the idea of original Zords Megazords, and hybriding it was kind of a neat idea. And like I said, the ideas were there, it's just the execution wasn't entirely done right. I think that this Zord could be a lot of fun for kids because it has quite a bit of playability within the modes it shows you in addition to Zord Builder. But I think for collectors I can definitely see some disappointment in a lot of areas. Like I said, some good ideas, just it could have been executed better. I definitely would like to see them thinking creatively like this in the future, but just maybe having, you know, some better engineering going on. I think I possibly would have just outright had them do another Zord that was just an original creation like the Zeo Zord we got. I mean, the Zeo Zord was a mold or a repaint of the SPD mold, but it wasn't trying to be SPD at the same time. But so yeah, this is overall a really good attempt at being creative, but just kind of an overall poor execution. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangersrambles.com, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this is Awesome Writer, signing out.